Domestic abuse, also known as domestic violence or intimate partner abuse, according to United Nations, is a pattern of behavior in any relationship that is aimed at gaining, maintaining power and control over an intimate partner. Cases of domestic abuse have been on the increase in Nigeria, in some cases resulting to death. There have been advocacy against domestic abuse, and it has become louder in the wake of the news of death of popular gospel artist Osinachi Nwachukwu, allegedly due to complications from domestic abuse. What are the factors that encourage domestic abuse in Nigeria? And why is it difficult for the abused to walk out of the abusive environment? What is the duty of society to the abused and to the abuser? I am Blessing Aiche. You're watching Viewpoint on ITV.
Ironically, what we see in the society these days, people don't look at that cultural value anymore. The woman sees that he's the head, probably has a key financial input, and probably the man is on the other side not having much. And generally men has ego. It takes a woman of understanding to know that my husband is my head, or the husband is the head of the family, so to say. And you give your husband that obligement and respect. If any woman does that, I think abuse can be avoidable. Like the normal scenario says, there's no smoke without fire. You go back to the drawing board, look at where you get it wrong, probably through your approach to your person, that is the abuser now. You know, to the other side, the person. Can I take a clue from this one trending right now? This singer, this lady, I don't know her name now. Osinachi. I think, you know, basically people say is maybe the man is extra violent, maybe have anger or something. There are books on anger control, emotional management and all that. It's not right, like the Bible says, to avoid one in terms of divorce. But if you look at it, safety of life first. If you see one occurrence, two occurrence, like they say, you know, you just have to, you pack out.
There are several factors to my mind that fosters abuse or give the platform for it to begin to, you know, grow. I think one of such is the biblical doctrine, where we are meant to understand that marriage, there's no excuse for anybody to walk out of marriage or for divorce to happen in a Christian marriage, that is for better, for worse. It is something that the society we must all rise up against. It's condemnable, it's reprehensive, it is it's archaic. It's no longer fashionable to begin to physically abuse anybody. You know, there are several ways of correcting one or bringing one to order. Also, when you have this mindset as a woman that your husband is doing you a favor, because sometimes we will miss the age of marriage. And at the time we get so desperate, because whoever is going to abuse you, the signs must be there, the handwriting must be there even before marriage. But because of our desperation to get married, since you are not complete in the society unless you're married, in quote, that's how they seem to look at women. But that perception is very wrong. So because of your desperation, you enter into an abusive marriage, and you don't want to jump out, so that they will not begin to condemn you with all manner of uncharitable words. So that is also another factor. There's several factors. Well, I'm happy society is gradually waking up. This case of Osinachi Nwachukwu has brought a lot of limelight to that. You see, the society should be awake. Should be awake to the responsibility, social responsibility of, you know, in uniform, in one accord, cry out loud against any abuser. It behoves on the society now to create a lot more awareness that is being done now, you know, and get reorientation.
One of those factors, one, low education, because education has a very big role, a huge role to play in our life, change the way we think. But when a man is not too educated, his education is too low, he behaves abnormally. There are some couples too, either wife or a man, who has some mental issues unknown to the other partner. So when the time comes, the man must misbehave for 5 minutes. It happens. We have what is called cultural differences, whereby a man from another cultural background gets married to a woman from another cultural background. What they forbid, the woman does not forbid them. Those kind of issues resort to domestic issues. The other thing we need to know is that aggression, anger, that some partner cannot control, lead to physical assault. There are some issues going on. Some of the couple don't talk. They don't speak out. You've been in a marriage for a very long time, and the husband continually assaults you, give you that assault, fight you and beat you. You don't tell anybody. You keep it to yourself with the hope that say, oh, this man is going to change. Or people say, Oleke, Ochekele. That is Isaac. Who eats sand does not leave sand. You continue to eat sand. A man that beats a wife will never change. Talk to someone. Talk to somebody. It's because all those women, they don't talk, some men don't talk. That's why they die in marriage. You must speak out. When you speak out, talk to your pastor. He can counsel you.
I would like us to, here is where we must draw a line. In Africa, divorce, for example, it's not part of our culture. Our parents grew up with a lot of patience, learning how to be patient. Now, I tell people, when you throw the water that used to bathe a baby away, don't throw the baby with it. There are extremes and there are excesses to that patient. Even while we are looking at these ideas in society right now, we must not also throw away the part of patience. But when it's extreme, for example, two people can be lovers, husbands and wife, in a compound, in a street, and their relationship is not the neighbor's business, but you're talking of the responsibility of society. But by the time you are hearing your neighbor and the wife fighting, it becomes your responsibility, because if somebody dies, police will even may pick you, because that's murder. Some men who are abusive, it's not like they don't love the women. The problem is that they don't know how to respond to a woman when they are angry, and so some of them don't plan it. And that's why some people are wondering why women don't leave abusive relationship, because you are only seeing, we as a society, we see the monster when they are fighting, but the women see the lovely part of those men after the abuse. So then those men, they know how to beg. They come back and they can kneel down, they can cry. So it's those parts, and they know how to promise.
Generally, abuse to a male, abuse to a female, why they would not want to leave if it is in marriage, and if it is in a relationship that's between the male and the female that are not married. For the male and the female that are not married, I would suggest that the woman leaves the relationship. Yes, I would suggest that the woman leaves the relationship, because he has not gotten married to you and you are seeing all those things. So wisdom demands that the woman leaves the relationship. If it is the man that is being abused, the man when he sees that you cannot tame this woman, when you see that you can't talk to this woman for her to listen, when you see that the woman is not submissive or humble to you, it's wise that you actually leave the woman. There are a lot of persons out there.
I believe society plays a very important role in the life of people generally, and the basic unit of society is the family. So every child is raised with a particular mindset, whether how they do everything. Basically, you learn your basic foundation from your home before even you go outside and peer pressure maybe start adding one or two or subtracting one or two. Because you see some homes where mothers kind of abuse their husbands and talk bad about their husband, make their husband look less in the eyes of their children. Or some other cases where children grow up with their fathers physically abusing their mothers or verbally abusing their mothers. So I believe if therapy should help these people understand whatever it is that they are doing and how it affects them and how it affects those around them, I believe that's a very good step to start in curtailing this domestic violence. And so I believe there should be a law, there should be laws and penalties that are firm against domestic violence, because here in our society people just do whatever it is they want to do, and when it happens, even if you report it to the police, they tell you it's a home issue.
This is not actually the time to shift blame at all. First of all, our culture as an African, we don't encourage divorce. Then when you come to church setting, church doesn't also encourage divorce. How can it be that when somebody comes to meet with you to say, oh, I have social challenge in my home? So the best you can do is to make sure that that issue is settled. But that is not to say that if there's a threat to life, that you keep encouraging the person to say, stay. No. So at this time, is for both the church, the family, the society, then the government to put effort together to be able to address the issue.
Fighting domestic abuse is a duty for everyone: the family, society, religious institutions, and of course the government. According to a respondent, when violence has been introduced into a relationship or marriage, then it has become the business of everyone. Many has also called for a shift away from beliefs that encourages domestic violence. I am Blessing AEG.